This national championship comes down to one thing, and that's the battle in the trenches. So let's talk about it. Miami versus Indiana. This game is won in the trenches. Everything flows from this. The amount of NFL talent that's on this Miami front is insane. Reuben Bain Jr. could be a top 10 pick in this NFL draft. We're going to see how they do against Carter Smith and this Indiana offensive line that has been great against Alabama and Oregon. Miami's defensive front's a lot different than those two teams. So let's see how they hold up against this NFL talent. Fernando Mendoza has controlled the pocket all season. It seems like he's never uncomfortable. But this game, I suspect it could be a little bit different. I think this offensive line has been great. I see a few weak spots I really think Miami might be able to take advantage of. Everyone talks quarterbacks all the time, but this is really where I think the game comes down to. If Miami can disrupt Fernando Mendoza, cause a couple turnovers, whether it's a pick or a fumble, I really think this game could be a lot closer than people realize. Everyone just wants to talk quarterbacks, and we'll talk about quarterbacks in a second. Let's talk about how Miami got here, because I was one of those people who thought Miami should not have been in the college football playoff. Clearly, I was wrong. I did not realize Miami had this in them. I was one of those people who thought Notre Dame over Miami. I understand they won the head-to-head, but that was back in week 1 or week 2, so it was a long time ago, but I was shocked by how good this Miami team was. Losing guys like Cam Ward, Elijah Arroyo, Damian Martinez, Tyler Barron, Jalen Travis, you can't lose that many people to the draft and recover that quick unless you're having a full bunch of transfers or a bunch of recruits coming in. Miami had a great season this year despite losing all those players. So kudos to them. I didn't think that they had this in them. And look at how they got here. I mean, in the playoff, they had to go through Texas A&M. They had to go through Ohio State and Ole Miss to get here. So they've earned their spot. I think they absolutely have a chance to win this whole thing. One player I want to look at in this game is C.J. Daniels. He's going to be very important down the stretch. He's a really good, reliable red zone target for Carson Beck. Now let's talk about Indiana. Everyone's talking about Indiana and how this historic season has happened. No one thought 2 years ago that Indiana, who was bottom of the Big Ten, kind of bottom of college football, they were not very good. They were a very sorry football program. But Kurt Cignetti has done wonders with this team, building them up. They're not just undefeated, but they look like they are this juggernaut squad. It's just crazy how this happened. I'm still trying to believe that Indiana football is relevant and playing in the national championship after blowing out Oregon and Alabama. It still sounds weird to me. But let's talk about the actual details of this team. It's their offense. Yes, their defense is great, but it's their offense. Fernando Mendoza, I've said his name multiple times, but I'm going to tell you about his weapons on the outside. He's got Charlie Becker, who's been so reliable for him recently, Omar Cooper Jr., and Elijah Surratt. Elijah Surratt's my favorite out of all of them. I think he's going to be a great pro when he gets to the NFL. But these weapons on the outside are no slacks. They are great. You tie in the running backs, Roman Hemby and Kalen Black, they've got a good team. They really do. So they absolutely can put up a bunch of points on Miami. I wonder how that trench play is gonna play out. All right, let's talk quarterbacks. Like I said, we had to talk about quarterbacks. Carson Beck has had an amazing season. I didn't think he had this in him. I thought Carson Beck, after Georgia, was just going to have an okay season coming over to Miami. I thought he was going to be fine, maybe get drafted in the 6th round. We'll see where he actually gets drafted, but he's turned around his career. He looks really comfortable in the pocket. I think Miami, the whole offense runs through him, and he's taking care of the ball. I'm very impressed with how Carson Beck has done in Miami. So he does a great job. We'll see if Indiana's secondary can take away a few plays, but I've been impressed with Carson Beck. And then obviously Fernando Mendoza, the future number 1 pick in the NFL draft to the Raiders, most likely. It seems like he can't do anything wrong all season. Yes, he's had a couple picks. I think he's up to 8, but I'll have to fact check me on that. But Fernando Mendoza is comfortable, and he has been all season. So if he is comfortable, this game, it's possible it could get out of hand like the last two. I didn't think Bama or Oregon were going to be blowouts, but maybe Indiana is actually that good, and it all stems from Fernando Mendoza. So let's go down to my pick. I'm going to say Indiana wins. I'd say probably around 8-9 points for Indiana over Miami, but I think it's going to be a wake-up call early on because it's in Hard Rock Stadium, so it's a home game for Miami. It might be a tough start to the game, but I think once Indiana gets comfortable, I think they're going to open it up. I'm going to say they win like 30-22. 30-21 or something like that. I expect it to be a great game, though. I think halftime is going to be really close. So tell me, do you think Indiana's going to do it again, or do you think Miami's going to spoil the perfect season for Indiana? So I'm not an Indiana fan. It looks like it because I got this towel back here. This is Indiana football, but I got that at the Big Ten championship game when I went to it. Um, but Indiana's a great story. You can't not root for them. They're great. But I'm a Hawkeye fan through and through. So watching Indiana take down Ohio State in that game and watching them steamroll through the playoffs has been fun. But they're not my favorite team. So if you made it this far, you must have at least enjoyed the video. I would hope you consider subscribing or liking the video. It really helps me out. I'm trying to grow this channel a little bit more. What this channel is going to be is a real authentic sports fan diving into all these games. And it's not just football. I do college football, NFL football, but I'm going to be diving into NBA, Supercross, baseball, maybe hockey in the future. So if you like sports, all sports, even if you don't like some of the sports, maybe you might find out that you might like some of them, like Supercross in the future. I never thought I'd watch Supercross or motocross, but we got kind of enjoyable. A lot of good storylines there. So if you like sports, I recommend you hit the subscribe button, follow along. I'll see you in the next one.